This is the 2022 Lenovo Yoga 9i, one of the most versatile and productivity-focused 2-in-1s out on the market. So let's jump into the details with a review and an unboxing of this laptop. So first, for the unboxing experience of the Yoga 9i. Now, Lenovo definitely used very nice eco-friendly packaging on this device, pretty much all cardboard and very minimal plastic. Now over on the left, you have your box full of all your power needs and power accessories for this laptop. And then of course you have the Yoga 9i itself. Now I don't show inside this box, but there is a case for the laptop included. Nice little slim portfolio style case for your 9i. Now when it comes to the power itself, a very small and compact brick for charging and powering your Yoga 9i. And overall, although it's only 65 watts in terms of its max charging capacity, it still does charge this device very quickly and is capable of rapid charging. Now when it comes to the Yoga itself, so let's get this 14-inch 2-in-1 out of the box so we can actually show you what this device looks like. But before we do that, I did want to show you guys the slim kind of portfolio sleeve that comes with the 9i. It is a nice feature to get a case inside the box, and this is definitely something that you can use to transport it inside of a backpack. And when it comes to the 9i itself, now this thing is a super nice design. I really do like this latest design from Lenovo, and we will jump into that in a little bit. But overall, we have a 14-inch 2-in-1 with a 1920 by 1200 display on this bad boy. A very nice speaker setup, really nice keyboard and trackpad. So overall, not too much to complain about when it comes to the design and the performance of the 9i, but more to come on all of those features. And you also get a stylus in the box. It's the Lenovo Precision Pen 2. I've been using an Apple Pencil 2 now for quite a bit, and this thing has a very nice feel in the hand. It's a little bit thicker, but it is still very substantial, some nice weight to it, and overall just feels really good. And it also has tracking above, the screen, so you don't have to actually touch the screen for it to know where the pen is. And when it comes to the form and function, the design of the Yoga 9i, it's super nice, super classic, nice rounded edges. You get really nice port selection as well, power and a USB Type-C on the right, and then 2 Thunderbolt 4 and a 1 USB Type-A on the left. I do wish it had an HDMI port, but overall can't complain too much about that. You also have that nice center speaker setup, soundbar setup from Bowers & Wilkins that allows you to really get a nice sound experience no matter where you have this laptop set up. Whether it be in tablet mode, tent mode, doesn't really matter. You can still hear the laptop perform. And the Windows Hello Touch and Face Unlock are also really nice features. And this thing is even capable of gaming with its Intel Iris Xe graphics from that 12th gen i7 1260p. And you can even set it up like this due to its 2-in-1 form factor, using a mechanical keyboard and a gaming mouse to get the best experience out of this laptop. And the screen is also really nice and color accurate. It does have a 400 nit peak brightness, which is perfect for most scenarios. And when you have this thing set up in tablet mode and you're using the stylus, it is a really nice experience, very similar to what I've used with my iPad. And overall, the stylus performs pretty well alongside of it. Compared to the Apple Pencil 2, it's very similar, maybe a little bit more input lag, but overall, a really nice experience with this combined feature. So let's jump into the specs and performance of this laptop. So in terms of the actual CPU and GPU, you have an Intel i7 1260p, one of the more efficiency-focused 12th gen laptop processors from Intel, and you also get those Iris Xe graphics that do allow you to play games on this super thin 2-in-1. So overall, you get 4 performance cores and 8 efficiency cores for a total of 12 cores and 16 threads. Now those performance cores will go up to around 3.9 gigahertz, at least on this model, and it does cause a little bit of thermal throttling on this device. So we started off with around a 9400 score on Cinebench, and after we ran it a second time, due to that thermal throttling, we do go down to around 8600 for a total score. And this thing also has Wi-Fi 6E, which will get you download and upload speeds close to 500 megabit per second, or even higher depending on your home networking. So overall, whether you're streaming video, streaming music, whatever it is, you can take full advantage of that bandwidth. And overall, I mean, the experience with the soundbar and everything on this device, there's very little that I would kind of change about the Yoga 9i, except for maybe a few more ports to just have a little bit more selection. But overall, the battery performance on this device is awesome. Around 11 hours of video streaming, 4 hours for more productivity focused tasks, around 2 hours of gaming. But you do get to charge super fast, around 40 minutes from 0 to 50 and around an hour 45 from 0 to 100. And you also get a PCIe Gen 4 capable SSD, giving you speeds of almost 3,500 megabytes per second and 1.2 gigabytes read. I will say the camera on the Lenovo Yoga 9i is honestly pretty good. 1920 by 1080 resolution definitely competes with similarly priced laptops that are out there on the market. And the dedicated button to blur your background is honestly a really nice feature, and I can definitely see that coming in handy. So the camera and microphone setup are pretty good, but so are those speakers.
Take me back to a place where I felt at home. Take me back to a day when we weren't alone. Take me back to an age when the world felt small. Way back before we blew it all. Take me back to a place where I felt at home.
When it comes to the repairability and upgradability of this machine, the disassembly is not too bad. Some T5 Torx screws on kind of the perimeter of the laptop. The one downside is you do have to kind of lift off the back foot, plastic foot on the back of the Yoga 9i in order to access some Phillips heads that are hidden underneath. A little Apple-esque, which isn't the best when it comes to repairability and upgradability, but overall still a pretty simple process to get this bottom case off. And when we do have it off, you can see the complete internals of the Yoga 9i. You can see that 75 watt hour battery. You can see that PCIe Gen 4 SSD, which is kind of the one upgradable thing on this device. The RAM is soldered on, those 8 gigs of RAM is soldered on. So overall, there's not too much in terms of upgrades, but in terms of repairability, it's not too difficult to get in there, change things out, switch things around, and really maintain the lifespan of this device. And when it comes to the pricing and models of the Yoga 9i, I have the base model. It's a $1,499 model, but you can step it up to $1,600, $1,700, or $1,750, and that really is mainly going to change that PCIe Gen 4 SSD, your RAM capacity, and the screen. So overall, every single model has an i7-1260p, but it does come with either 8 or 16 gigs of LPDDR5, 5200 megahertz soldered on RAM, and then you can step up that 14-inch display from 1080p to 1440 QHD or even 4K, and everything else is pretty much the same on those devices. So let's jump into a quick recap. So overall, the upgrades that Lenovo has made to this 2022 version of the Yoga 9i are extremely nice and very much appreciated, especially when it comes to the actual design and construction of the Yoga 9i. But we can't forget about those performance upgrades as well with this latest generation, 12th gen Intel processor. So overall, I mean, this device has some really, really nice features. That 14-inch 1900 by 1200 display at 400 nits is pretty much all you would really need. But if you did want to step it up for, let's say, video editing or photo editing or something like that, it's still upgradable to that QHD or 4K display at that same 400 nit peak brightness. Now, although that brightness is still pretty high and very much comparable to other machines, the glare coating that is on this Yoga 9i does mean you will kind of run it at those higher brightnesses for the majority of the time. And the Intel i7-1260p performs amazingly well, although it still does thermal throttle a little bit due to how slim Lenovo has made this Yoga 9i. But overall, you're still going to get really, really good performance that allows you to kind of use this device in whatever way you want, whether it be for gaming, editing, production, whatever you really need it for, it will work for you. And although I would definitely upgrade the RAM to the 16 gigabyte capacity, the 8 gigs still did me plenty fine, especially at 5200 megahertz speed, but I probably would step it up to that 16 gigs if you do have the budget. And also that 256 gig PCIe Gen 4 SSD, although limited on capacity, performs amazingly well and is super speedy. So again, if you did want to step that up, the extra $100 for that better, overall setup with the 512 gig SSD and 16 gigs of RAM is probably the direction I would go. I probably would stay away from this base configuration. It's not really available at this point anyway, and I would probably go for one of those higher tier specs, especially when it comes to the RAM and SSD, and maybe you kind of leave the screen out of the picture unless you really need it. And the Windows Hello Face and Touch Unlock are also really nice features. They perform really well, as you saw, super quick with the touch and really nice with the Face Unlock as well. So overall, very few complaints about the Yoga 9i. The keyboard, the trackpad, also amazingly set up on this device, especially with that dedicated row of function keys that allow you to kind of blur your background or change the music or sound preferences on the device. Overall, very few complaints about the Yoga 9i, but I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on this laptop. Be sure to leave those down in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, if you enjoyed the laptop, definitely give this video a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, get subscribed to the channel, turn on post notifications, plenty more reviews and DIY projects coming to the channel.